All right. Welcome, Sketchbook Heroes and Sketchbook Warriors. We've got simple to complex drawings tonight. Here we go. We're going to start off. Let me share my screen because I just talked about the drawings, but I didn't show them. So we're going to start off with these simple characters here, very simple. And then we're going to go to this. We'll do this pretty quickly. It's form. It's actually the next level of somebody who wanted to learn about the fundamentals. It is about looking for shapes, looking for form, and drawing form. And this is one of them. And then we'll get into this one. This is really complex, and don't get scared. We're not going to draw all of it, but I'm going to break it down. We will draw this one, that one, and some examples. And the Happy New Year from Ellen. All right. So let's get started. Oh, that's George's Brock. There we go. We'll probably end the night with that portrait. All right. So let's get started here. Let's break this down. So if you're brand new tonight, welcome. We do break down these drawings, and when you're drawing figures, we always we look for the head, so as a unit. So the biggest challenge with people is themselves. I think believing you can and working and learning. There's a lot of challenges to learning to draw, and yourself is the biggest one. The next one is space, seeing space. So once we have this unit, this head, let's see how they both compare. I'm sure they're the same size. This will be our unit. That's one. And then you can see here, that's one. So the unit is the same. And we can use the spacing. You can see it's about one head space apart, probably one more. But we have a unit now as space, because space is the hardest thing to see when you're learning to draw. So we've got this one unit here. We can bring this down. And I've learned, they just actually changed this. So they've been making these changes to our zoom. You can copy and paste, and there's another circle exactly the same, and I can bring that down. You can see how many heads tall our character is. They do this in animation. They do this in drawing and in figure drawing, and in animation and other things too, specific to figure drawing. Definitely always looking for space and taking on that challenge. So we're seeing how tall this character is, how many heads tall. The usual person is about 7 to 8 heads tall. Here we go. Let's see, we're almost there. I don't know how many we have so far. But once we get there, oh, and a half, it'll probably be a half. There we go. That's it. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5 heads tall, which is actually pretty close to average, except the width. The width, we're talking about ratios. The width is really different here. So we'll use that. Let's actually, I wonder, that would be cool if I can copy and paste all of the ones I just made again, but we'll just do it here. We'll just paste them down again, and we'll start drawing these. All right, so if you are anxious, you're waiting for me you want to get started, you can go ahead and start drawing these circles. Try to get them all the same size. And this is a good exercise, just drawing circles. If you're a warm-up or whatever, you can draw circles. But we're going to take these circles here, and we're going to line them up, and we're going to do our 7.5 circles tall figures here. And we're going to use that as a guide. The anatomic middle is usually like 4 circles down on an 8-circle person. So this is actually looks pretty accurate. It's just the width that's changed on these. They really thinned out this character style-wise. All right, and then we'll do these drawings, and then we'll do the next one. I think it's are we already going into the cartoons? I think we are. So yeah, these are half circles. So let's go ahead and draw a line there, because it is a half, right at the half, right there. All right, that's it. Let's screenshot that and get started. Thank you for joining us. Here we go. We're going to just jump into this. Start off with these drawings here. As soon as, we have something in the chat. Is this Art Deco style of 20s? Yes, it is very Art Deco style. But it's a cartoonish style of it's not like a real, but it is, yeah, the Roaring 20s and stuff like that. It is a cartoon kind of thing of that. But yeah, it's not it's a little stylized. All right, here we go. Art Deco style. All right, here we go. The Charleston and all that. All right, let's get started. Let's jump into this. Grab a, what? Did I disappear? I don't know what's going on here. Let's see. Let's turn this around. All right, let's get our circles going. If you have gotten them going already, that's great. Again, materials, you can use anything. I don't, when you're first learning, you don't really worry about them, just a regular pencil's fine. We do just try to get the spacing here. So I'm going to draw my circles here. The first one's probably the hardest one, and I'm scribbling it in. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you can see how I did a whole bunch of circles to get it. Once we have that width, we can actually use that as a guide all the way down and get all the other circles in here. A lot of different ways to do it. You can actually get another sheet of paper right here. We can see how wide that is. We can take that as a measurement. And there's our 1, and there's our unit. And we can bring that down to 1, 2. And we might have to make the circle smaller. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, we're gonna have to make the circle smaller. Wow. There we go. Let's make it a little smaller. Actually, we can make it just by actually lowering the top there. That'll make it a little smaller. There, that should probably do it. Just even that much helps sometimes. There we go. That's 1. Let's erase that. I've got the width. It's just the height that we're messing with. And that's ratios. We're looking at the height compared to the width. We have our circle, which is a 1-to-1. Perfect. And you would do this with actual realistic people too. But this is great. It's a safe zone because we're drawing cartoons. It'd be even a safer zone if we drew like monsters and stuff like that. Let's see here.
I don't think we can see you.
Oh, really? No way. Why
I mean,
not?
I'm just seeing the screen, your screen.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Thank you. There we go. Is that better?
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Thank you. This is why we go live. Here we go. I am spotlit. I should be spotlit. There we go. Thank you. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And I think it's 7.5. So if I turn this upside down and then I can add the half on the other side because all the circles would be fine. So there we go. I've measured my my spacing, and I can just really quickly just this is good exercise, just trying to get those circles to fit in that space. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can still follow my guidelines. I didn't do it all the way through. And I'm going to turn this upside down. That's another good exercise. There's a lot of good exercises drawing upside down. It's a bit of a challenge. And it really forces you to draw what you see, not what you think you see. Is that really our brain also gets in the way of what we draw, of what we see. All right, I'm drawing what we see. All right, so here we go. I got my measurement. I'm going to bring that down because we did need 7.5. That'll take us right to the edge of the paper. But I know if I go half, that's right there. So this will be the bottom of my drawing. I'm going to need to bring those across. So I can actually just little guidelines like this, knowing that the other character is going to be some circles across as well. There we go. And I can see I'm going to use my whole paper for that. There we go. I might even need to get up a little higher. Let's see, bring that back. There we go. All right, let's get those other circles in here. That's not going to be exactly centered. I know I need at least a circle space between them. So yeah, it's not totally centered. That's okay. I'll be happy if this turns out right in here. Or I can erase everything and start over or move everything over a little bit. But that's the thing. It's the challenge of space, seeing space, time and space. Sometimes you you feel like you have time and you don't, and time goes really fast, and sometimes time goes really slow. Sometimes you feel I have a lot of space, and you don't. If you ever done lettering, that's definitely you do their lettering and like you're running out of space. Oh, how many people had to do Christmas cards and you're writing and like, oh, wait a minute, you have to figure out the space that you're using. Same problem, same problem. It's nice planning it out. That's pretty good. That's all right. Here we go. So we're gonna start off. This will be our our smoking character. I'll start off with a head. So we have 7.5 heads tall. I'm gonna start off with a head and then just do the rest. We'll just zoom in. So the head is probably the most has the most detail in it, and it's going to be the most important part as far as um, capturing the essence of this drawing. Let's see, can't see you. All right, thank you, David. Second time you save us today. All right, here we go. So let's go. Let's draw that circle here. And you can clean this up afterwards. Sorry, now it's really sketchy, and you should not be afraid to be really sketchy. Some of our students, they're afraid of making their drawings look dirty, so when they go into shading, but we don't worry about shading. But I'm going to break this circle into fourths. All right, half and half again. This will help get the symmetry. And I can see, I didn't break it down over there, but the eyes are below the center. But this is actually where more or less where the hair comes down. So we broke that into fourths. The hair does curve in like a little bow cut, and it curves up right to that middle part. And then it curves in and it curves in, and all that is hair. So we have all this whole face space right in there, just kind of like that. Am I, all right, let's see how that looks here. There we go. That's the head. Ah, perfect for New Year's, huh? This could be like a New Year's theme dance or party here. All right. And the hair's not perfectly round. There is one side that kind of overlaps and comes out of the circle. Kind of like that, has a little bit of a haircut. So I'm putting that in. There's a little bit of a band on there, a hair band. Oh, I saw Heart last night. That was so cool. It was their first, it's really interesting. After 4 years of not playing together, they played last night at Yamava. There we go. It was a pretty neat concert. With my lady. All right, one side is straight, and I can pull this out a little bit from the circle that's there, because there's a little bit of overlapping, and the circle is like underneath. So these little hints of how the space is used is important as far as giving it space and overlapping. The artist does that really slightly. There's a little bit of a pull too to the right. I can see it's not a perfect circle, so I can see it kind of like a little bit of a chin, which I didn't do. That's okay. There's some feathers up on top of the head. Some feathers. So I'm just going to do the center line of the feathers, put a little bit of a curve to it, a little bit of a curve, and then I can see the feathers, or leaves, whatever they are. The top one has like a tear shape, and then there's other ones that kind of come down, and they look like they alternate. They look like they alternate. I'm not going to count. Just going to get the feel of it. I can say, let me see. I can actually count them. 3, 4, 5. Looks like there's 5 on each. Every time I have 5, I was okay. There's going to be one in the middle, and then 2 above and 2 below. So I'm going to find the middle one right in there, and then say there's going to be 2 above and 2 below. So there's 1, and then just do 2 above. There we go. 1, 2, and then 2 below. 1, 2. There we go. And that'll get us the feel of one side. And there's overlapping and a lot of stuff going on here with this feather, but I'm not gonna worry about it. Just gonna do the other ones fitting in there, kind of like that. I'm not really worried too much about accuracy. I can go in there and really try to get accurate. Sometimes you got to pick your battles and say, okay, this is good enough. I know I'll get the feel of it, but sometimes you want to do accuracy. Right, and that's a whole other ball of wax. It takes a little bit longer, but yeah, that's the thing. You need to learn to choose your battles. Say, okay, I'm not going to worry about it, and say, okay, it's good enough. It comes out good enough. Sometimes you need to have it really exact, and you spend a little more time on being a little more exact. But that's the thing. It takes more time. That's the challenge. That's the challenge. That perfectionism also takes more time. And a lot of times perfectionists like myself don't take that into consideration. It's like, okay, you got to give yourself time and say, okay, how good can you do it within that time? All right, so that's the thing. We're taking that into consideration. All right, and I do believe slowly but surely, but sometimes slowly but surely wins the race. Sometimes, but always you gotta. All right, here we go. It's all that the head space mind. Here we go. Let's draw the eyes. So the eyes just go right under here. They kind of just off the center. Like I already have my center there. So they're just little U shapes. Just looking down, one U shape, one U shape. Pretty close off the center. Watch the spacing in between. Actually, looks like it's closer. It looks like they're closer together than I have. So this is not a great problem with proportions, which is what you usually have with faces. This is a cartoon. There's a nose that's being turned up right in the middle of all this, a little V shape. And then you've got the lips. The lips look like they are like the letter M at the top and a little rounded shape at the bottom. That's what I'm getting. Like an M shape, M, and then rounded shape at the bottom. And then the little cigarette that comes out of that. So there's a little smoking thing going on here. And I think it comes out about almost a headspace. Yeah, I would say that's a headspace. I'm looking at it just visually. So here's a headspace. It should come out about a headspace. We'll probably be really pushing it close to the edge of our paper here. And she's got it's really thin, but I'm thickening it up just slightly. It's because it's really close to being very thin. It's going right there. And then it's got like this little S curve, but it looks more like a question mark. Should I be smoking? There it is right there. And it curves out and then curves back into the little cigarette there. There, that's it. That's it. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. All right, so let's get the rest of this. That's not too bad. I'll let you catch up if you need to catch up. There is a let's say, I don't know. They did put cigarettes back in the days on this little stick. All right, I'm going to zoom out. Zoom out. Now the neck and the whole body kind of curves. There's a really slight curve, so we can kind of capture that. And it kind of curves in, then it goes out or forward. I would say back and forward. Let's use that language. Back and then forward, and then slightly back or down, and then down in here. The dress opens up, and that would be 3, 4, 4 circles down. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's right here, the fourth circle down. And right in here is where that bottom of that dress is going to be. And I can kind of like almost put like a little U, just showing that's where the bottom of that dress is going to be. Right in there. Four circles down, the bottom of that dress. So I'm going back, forth, kind of just getting that feel in there. There's a little bit of a flow, and then this back leg here going from here forward to this circle, and I'm just blocking everything in. I'm really being really sketchy. We will clean all this up, and then we have this other foot that kind of comes down and actually comes all the way down to the bottom, bottom. We'll zoom out a little bit more so you can see that. Yeah, back and forth. This foot kind of comes out this way. And then we've got one from the bottom of this dress kind of coming straight down. So there's a slight angle to it. If you were to push her over, she'd be a pushover. She'd knock over just slightly. There's a little bit of an angle to it, this whole thing, that way, those legs. All right, I think that's kind of blocked in. I can kind of block in the arms as well. The arms kind of, the elbows. The elbows are between these two circles. This elbow here on this right side, right about here, and then this other elbow on the other side, right about there. And then everything just flows off of that. So I think that's the major of blocking stuff in. And now I'm going to work my way down. We're going to start with the top half and then go down to the other half. So we've got this neck curving this way, kind of curves a little bit to the right as it moves, I guess, forward. Really thin neck. What is that proportions? It's about a fourth of the circle. We're looking at the circle that's right below it. And then let's get that whole top dress because it does kind of come out. I've kind of got my little bit of a flow line and it does go a little bit wider. Right, actually, right, I think right about that first circle. And then this is probably the torso, kind of slightly showing that torso, and then it comes in. So it's coming out slightly. And then we'll bring that all the way down to the third circle, the middle of the third circle, right below. Yeah, this is the third circle right in here, a little bit below the middle. So this is the third circle down, or below the head. And right below that's how far this dress comes, right below the middle, just slightly. And it does get wider as it comes out here. So this blouse kind of looks kind of like this. And get that blouse shape in those three circles in that space right there. And then she's got a really neat little necklace that goes on top. But we look at the big shapes first. Understanding process is important, you know, and practice. So the process is looking at the big shapes, looking at the space, and then all this detail goes last. But we can throw it in here now that we understand the process. We got the big shapes. Now we get this little shape. It does tie in a knot right about in here, and then it opens up again. So right about there, I can see it ties in a knot. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the necklace in circles as it just comes down. I'm not counting. I just know it's about that. They're about that big. And it comes down. And I think they ink it in. This is probably all ink. So I could probably turn this into an ink drawing on top afterwards. Okay, so it comes down to that point together. It looks like some kind of knot. I'll put like 4 of them together right in there. And then make a loop. Bring them down. Here we go. Bring it down to, all right, that's it. And it's a good little circle practice. Those little circles. I'm gonna speed it up a little bit. Bring it all the way up to the top. And then all this is, the whole blouse is shaded. Whole blouse is shaded. There we go. Shaded dark with ink. All right, let's get these arms in here. That looks pretty good. Does come out. Do lose some of the detail. This is an HB pencil, drawing pencil, but it's not as dark as I think it should be. Well, I can shade all that blouse in. Let's get these arms in here. All right, so the first arm, the upper arm here is here's the elbow that I said. It kind of comes out and curves just slightly, but it's pretty straight. There's a slight curve to it and a slight thickness to it, that upper arm from there to there. And then this is where they get fancy. There's a curve up here as it touches the top of the cigarette, or I don't know what that's called. I'm sure it had a different name. I'll bring that elbow in a little bit because I want that curve, that curve up here where the hand is. It's almost like spaghetti sticks. 2 little spaghetti sticks. There's one arm. That's good. It's probably a little further in, but that's okay. I like this curve that I kind of trying to capture that flow of the body. And then we've got the other arm, which looks oh, there we go. This actually, this looks short or lower. I'm gonna lower it a little bit. Yeah, it should be lower. I'm gonna lower it just slightly from where I'm at. I'm just looking at space-wise. There we go, just a little bit lower. Bring it in. It's pretty straight, this upper arm. Straight there. And then it curves into where our necklace is, and then it curves out. So it comes in to the necklace and then curves out. I would say right about there, like that. So it's kind of like suggesting a hand with that curve. It's going pretty straight, and then it curves. Kind of like the letter J right in there. Oops, up a little higher. There we go. So you can see the flowing lines of the hands, flowing hands, upper arms kind of straight. Here it's curves. I'm going to continue the shading. So before we get to the bottom, if you want to wait on the shading, you can wait on the shading. Again, the shading is just, I'm doing a little bit of circle shading, maybe even hatching. Hatching is just back and forth like this, or you can do circle shading, which is making circles. Just try not to confuse them with your pearls. There we go. Just shading it all in. All right, then we got the legs and then we're done. Oh no, we still have the skirt. Can't forget the skirt. We've got this blouse. Opens up right there like that. It's looking pretty good. I like it. All right, not too shabby. All right, let's zoom out a little bit more or just move everything up. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 circles here. This would be the anatomic middle in and that looks like where it's at as well in this cartoon. The anatomic middle is 4 circles down. And here we go. Let's get this skirt on here. The skirt does have that flow and it opens up. It flows open. So I'm going to try to get that taper as it tapers open. And then it goes down to, oh, here's our bottom of our skirt right here. I already had the U there as our guide. You can see it kind of like this bell shape. That's the big shape there. And we can break that down into smaller pieces, but it does kind of have that kind of like bell shape. All right, I'm going to do, it has 5 pleats, I guess. Those are called pleats. We're going to start with the middle one. That's the most important one, I guess. We'll start with the middle one, make that one fit. And then we'd fit the 2 on this side, just kind of like we did the feathers. So let's get that first one, that middle one in there. So we got that middle one. There's our middle pleat. And then the other 2, let's do the left and then do the right. The left one is a little bit lower, so I'm going to do it right in here, then bring it up right up the middle of that line. Bam. Here's 1, and then we've got 2. So 2 on each side. That makes it 5. There we go. Divide and conquer. See, so I got the center one, which is really the important one, and then I just do the 2 on each side, and that gives us our little dress here. We can start cleaning it up a little bit on all our guide circles, but it's looking pretty good. Not too shabby. Coming along. All right, here we go. The relationship of these little pleats. This one's a little bit higher. I'm just going to focus on this little dress here. This pleat is a little bit higher up in here, and this also breaks that in half. And this is fractions, a fifth. And then we've got the one that's a little bit wider there, and then bringing it out. See, seeing that big shape really helps as we divide it up. There it is. There's that pleated little skirt. All right, let's get these legs in here. So we have one leg coming from up here. It's actually coming back there. There's a little bit of overlapping. And I already have it sketched in. Oh, let's do the detail. I usually wait for the detail for last, but it has some hatching. This dress, let's just do it. So there's hatching going like this in this direction. And then there's hatching in the opposite direction. Angle, actually, the angle is opposite all the way down. And then here, this one's almost straight on this side. I skipped it. A little bit almost straight. They have it straight across. Little hatch marks. Just watching my spacing and just filling that in. And then this angle. As it comes down. And then the opposite. There we go. That's pretty cool. That's it. There's our skirt. All right, let's get these legs in here. Let's clean it up a little bit. Let's zoom out. You can see that. It's not looking it's looking pretty good. I think it's looking pretty good. All right, let's get a little closer to these legs here. You can see it's 1, 2.5 here. This leg here just comes, they're pretty straight. They're pretty straight, especially that and they're overlapping. So we gotta make sure you have the leg underneath. It looks like it's coming out of here. I'm gonna have to move it out a little bit to the right back here. But there's overlapping. This leg here, the one that she's really putting all her weight on, is almost straight up and down. It does curve forward as it comes down. It goes forward, but it comes out from right about there. Other leg's over here, and it comes out here, but it's on top. So I've got I can see the leg that's going to be underneath really lightly. I'm going to put this leg on top first. I can do that. So let's do this, come up from there to there. And it's pretty much a straight line. So if you can see the 2 points, where it's going to start and where it's going to stop, and then that's all you really need for the leg. Know those 2 points. Where does it start? Where does it stop? Same thing down here. Down here does gets a little bit wider. And then there's at the bottom, there's she's got high heels. She's got high heels. So let's show you how to do that. Just comes down as a line. There's a little bit of a width here. It does get a little bit wider for the calves, I think, but it's almost pretty much a straight line. Let's open it up a little bit more. There we go. I'm happy with that. And the way they make the high heel, they just bring it in. This is the actual shoe, and then that's the wide part, and then they have a little thin part. This shape right in there. It's almost like backwards L kind of shape, with a thicker. It's wider at the top part of the foot. All right, so there. Let's get that back foot in there. Get it behind. It's behind. This is how artists create space. They're using overlapping. It's the O in pods. Placement, things that are lower or closer. O, there's overlapping. D, detail. And then this foot just coming straight right in here. Coming straight on for you. And down. That was a song they played last night. This shoe down here at the bottom is just a rounded tip like that. There it is, and it's just shaded. It's just rounded. There it is. That's it. Boom, boom, boom. That looks pretty good. If you got your proportions, it should look pretty good. There it is. You got the face. It's got a nice little curve to it. You can see it kind of going forward and then backward and then forward. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's see this other one. Boom, boom, boom. I might draw this one a little faster. If I'm going too fast, let me know. Put it in the chat. Let me take a look at the chat right now while we're taking a little break. Thank you for joining us. Can't see you. All right, still the same one. All right, let me look at these names. All right, thank you for joining us. Many regulars. We had 50 people sign up. And like always, only about half show up. We got 24, including myself. All right, let's get this other face. This other face is a little more of a challenge, just like we do. We go from simple to a little more complex. This face is at a 3/4, not 3/4. There's a slight look to the right. There's a slight angle to it. So let's get that going. She's the same height. Let's just focus on the face. This one's a little bit to the side. So I've got my circle here. I'm finding my center, and it kind of looks like it's, I wouldn't say curving. I'll try to keep it simple. It's kind of like going at this angle, a slight angle that way, that whole face. And it's the same thing right off the middle, right off the center is that bow haircut. So we've got that bow haircut, but it does curve, and I would say it's trying to see that it does curve up maybe a little bit on this side more than on this side. So just go up a little bit slightly. And let's see. All right. And then just wrap it around the circle. Wrap it around the circle here as it comes down. It's probably a little bit wider on this side. It is wider on this left side. And on the right, it's a little bit slightly thinner, because she is facing, I guess, that way. She's facing to the left. That's facing this way towards my pencil. So this side there's going to be a little bit more hair. This side slightly less. No. And then let's get these face. Let's get the face in there. Oh, she doesn't have oh, okay. So there's no this area here where this is a band, this is a reflection of hair right in that area on the left side, on the right side of this picture. The left side is the she's got like a band, and this is reflection. So we got to get that reflection to make it look like reflection. It's going to be in that space right in here. I'll show you how to do that. I'm just making this space for it. It's going to be right in there. Let's get this face going. She's got this pouty look to her, so the mouth is kind of like down. And then a little bit of an M shape at the top, slight M shape, like a little M, the letter M, and then the bottom, I would probably put a U, but it's almost like a square. Looks like it's a square here, the lips. And then the nose, another triangle nose pointing up. And then the eyes right in here, little U shapes. Just try to get it to fit in that space, What was really helping set all this space up is the this as a half circle, this part of the half, this half. Breaking the seeing this as a circle and seeing that's about halfway. All right, let's get this hair. Let's get this hair. I might thicken up these lip lines a little bit. Let's thicken them up a little bit. These lips like she's pouting or slightly a little bit thicker. Here we go. So this hair highlight is right in that area. I'm just gonna almost put like these W's or these back and forth kind of shapes there. And then same thing on the top. Just do the same thing as I'm just going back and forth in that space like that. That creates that reflection of hair. And hair is always tough to do. But it's once you start seeing the mass as the mass, like this is all just mass shape instead of like individual hairs. You don't have to draw the individual hairs all the time. Most, I would say, ever. You shouldn't, unless you're going realistic, very real, which I've done. And I've done that level of photorealism drawing. It's fun, but it's challenging and shouldn't always do it. I mean, I don't know if you're known for that and people want it. It's all supply and demand. There we go. All right, her head's done. Her head is done. Just kind of looking sideways. There's a slight angle to her. I think that my nose should have dropped a little bit more, but it's not a big deal. All right, it's a cartoon. So really nice overlapping. Let's get to that scarf she's got. Let's zoom out. Zoom out. Here we go. All right, so the scarf is about two circles down. So these next two circles is where our scarf is going to go. There is overlapping, and there's kind of like a circle shape to our scarf. It's kind of like there's like a circle here, and then it goes into this wave thing. It curves out or forward and then back. I'm going to exaggerate a little bit. Actually, probably not much. It kind of goes here and curves. There we go. It kind of reminds me of a water drop upside down. But there's this overlapping. Try to get that overlapping, this circle shape here, and that overlapping. There we go. And it's two circles down, kind of covering that space. This it's not a scarf, actually. It's probably more like a, what is that called? A fur, probably could be like fur. So that's one side of the fur. It's got this tapering shape, kind of tapers like a upside down water drop. It tapers, curves. And then we've got the bottom half, which also has like a circle to it. That kind of really makes it feel like she's warm and it's hugging her. that circle shape feeling, and then it goes straight underneath and opens up at these angles, kind of like that. Yeah, it opens up at these angles to a point, and then it's kind of squared off. Clean that up. Bam. So there's our fur, faux fur. We'll make it faux fur. It's not real. There's our faux fur. Kind of looks like a heart. It's almost like a heart shape. You can see a heart. If I do this, you can kind of see that as a heart shape. If you can see that as a heart shape, and then just added this to it. All right, let's get that dress that kind of comes in here. It's all this is at a slight angle. Let's do the arms and then the dress. So looking for these points, this elbow does come out a little bit higher. So from here, yeah, right. See our circle that's underneath, a little bit below the center. So here's the center of this circle that's below. It's coming out. I would probably put it right about here, a little bit below that center. That's the point we need. So any line, 2 points to make a line. This is math. Yeah, it's geometry. 2 points to make a line. Just see where those points are. There's a point here, and then this point goes lower. Those 2 points, and then we have another point up here. This is a different line, so there it is. So we've got our 3 points, our triangle that are here. So we've got the upper arm right there. See, 2 points to make a line. And then we've got this other line that comes up and then curves out because there's a hand or something. You know, it's a hand. It's there it is, kind of like that. Bam. There's the upper arm. That's it. And then here we go. Let's get that other arm kind of a little bit, it looks like that angle. I think I'm off. It's probably up a little bit higher. This angle should probably be maybe a little steeper. It's all right. Well, it's a keeper. We got 2 points. We got this point here, that point there. And then this hand up. She's not, does she have a, oh, no, it's not a cell phone. It's like a compact or something. But it is, if you, depending on the direction, there is an angle to this. So if you're going from the top down, it does go forward. Then here it goes back. So notice those angles, There's a hand to it. Put a little bit of a hand there, a little bit of a claw or banana shape. Then you've got the 2 shapes for the arm. Bam, bam. Shaded in. And then she's got that compact. So the compact is just like an L shape, backwards L. We'll put that in there. Now, let's see. And get those 2 angles. 1, 2, right in there. Probably not the same proportions, but that's okay. You got 1 L shape, and then they added like a thickness to it or something. Another little L shape on top of it. Two little lines, like a reflection or something. Who knows what that is? Probably a reflection. And you can go over it with ink to make it sharp, clean it up. All right, let's get to that dress. Let's get to that dress. It's got a bow on it. Let's move this up. There we go. So we've got 3 circles, 4 circles and a half. 4 circles and a half. We only need 2 circles below here. These 2 circles. So these 2 circles is where the dress is going to go. The bottom of the dress is going to be right in here, which is really close to the bottom of this dress. Right in here. Right in here's where the bottom of that dress. And this whole thing is almost like a triangle. I can see that triangle kind of coming up in here and that bottom circle. And this other circle is kind of like and it's coming from the left to right. There's a slight angle to this. This whole thing has a slight angle this way, has a slight angle that way. So we're gonna that whole dress basically is kind of like an oval shape. This top part, it's like an oval shape down to a triangle. So you get this oval shape. And these are kind of like her thighs, kind of coming into her legs. right in there. So we've got all that. And then we've got a bow down here. And then we've got all kinds of the bottom of this dress. I'm just going back and forth. I see this little spike here, kind of like the letter M again, and then with another two M's together. So there's an M right there. See that letter M? Then we're going to do another little M, up, down, and then up, and then down, like that, right in there. There we go. There's that dress. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. All right, so let me zoom in on that so you can see what that looks like, because we're going to work on this dress a little bit. All this dress is kind of shaded in. Shade it all in. How much time is that? 7:23. Good shading practice, just shading. Practice, practice, practice. Practice makes progress. All right, here we go. Now let's do these bows. These bows are kind of like triangle shapes. See, they're like triangle shapes. There is a little bit of there's a little bit of curves. So right now they're like triangle shapes. I'm doing them as triangle shapes just to block them in, because I can say that kind of helps me get the spacing. But as we go closer, in the detail, it kind of there's a little bit of a bump and it kind of curves in. And this bottom half is a bigger part of that bow. See, so you can see me kind of clean it up. So you should be able to, or practice going back and forth, being able to see these big shapes and then being able to see these smaller shapes. See, the big shape would be just the triangle shape, and then the smaller shapes would be this finer detail of how those little curves go. It's not a perfect triangle. There's this second level of focus almost that you need to be able to do back and forth. Like here, you would be able to focus here on this triangle and then focus on the smaller detail here as a different part. And being able to switch back and forth is a skill. So here we have our triangle for this side, but then if we look a little closer, it does curve up, and then it curves down, and then it curves out. There's this like an S curve there, and then it comes in a little bit, and then it curves out a little bit again, and then just comes up like that. Then we can just shade in. There are some, actually a little bit of highlights. There's two. I'm going to try to keep them. There's one there, and then one down here, like open spaces. They kind of like reflections. I kind of missed the one on the left side. There's one on the center on this left side I kind of missed. And I'll try to put it back in there, but it's kind of like a little bit of a just reflection of the bow. Let me shade all that in. Then I'll check my message. And here we go. Here we go. Here we go. There it is. Bam. There it is. All right, let's see what's going on over here. 7:30. My dog. All right, let's get these legs in there. And then we're done. We're done. We're done. We're done. Let's get these legs. Let's zoom out a little bit so you can see the relationships and see how it all fits. See, it's coming along. We got our two ladies there. And then we got two circles and a half right there. These are going to be easier. They're just almost straight and crossing. They actually are very straight. But there's a slight angle to it. So it's again, when you see a line, watch where it starts, watch where it stops. And then just imagine it. There it is. 2 points to make a line, and then just bring it down, and then bring it back. This is the one. This is the leg that's going to be on top. This leg is on top, right, all the way back up. Oops, it's going too thin. Made it a little too thin. Picking it up. There we go. There we go. There's our one leg. Ah. All right, and then the shoe's really simple, just like this one here. The shoe is just rounding it and then shading it. There's that shoe. Not a big deal. And then here we got it going from the left and then it going down to the right. Down here, about the same spot. Probably it's just slightly higher, just like a tad. But notice where it starts, where it stops. That's your line. And then just bring it back up, and then we're done. Let me see the spacing. Yeah, the spacing, there's a little bit of space. It's good to see the negative space as a shape. Right in there. And then just, there we go. Ah! And then again. The shoes, kind of like that. If the shoe fits. There we go. There they are. Boom, boom, boom. Two gals from the 20s. The roaring 20s, right before the Great Depression. It's kind of depressing. Literally. There we go. The fanfare. The glitz, the glamour. All right. Ta-da. There's our drawing. All right. Stop the recording.